Bloody Bucket Road. While not its official name, it is what the locals in Wauchula, Florida have called this sinister stretch for generations. Its chilling reputation is tied to the legend surrounding Bloody Bucket Bridge, a story that blurs the lines between fact and folklore. Whether the tale is rooted in truth or mere superstition, one thing is for certain: the road and bridge are shrouded in mystery. The road itself, once a dirt path known as Reinhardt Pass Road, dates back over 100 years and can be found on maps predating 1900. Today, it's paved and appears harmless enough in the daylight, running south off Main Street and eventually connecting to Route 64 between Zolfo Springs and Avon Park. But drive down this road after dark, especially on a moonlit night, and you might feel an unsettling change in the atmosphere. The story begins many years ago after the Civil War, when an ex-slave woman and her husband moved to Wauchula from Georgia. She became a midwife, delivering hundreds of babies for families in the community. But whispers soon spread about her methods, whispers that would tarnish her name forever. It is said that the midwife, concerned that some families had more children than they could care for, took it upon herself to help. Her solution? Smothering newborns shortly after delivery. She would tell the grieving parents that their baby had been stillborn. To conceal her crimes, she carried the lifeless infants down to the nearby bridge, burying their tiny bodies in the woods along the riverbank. The reasons behind her actions remain unclear. Some say she was deranged, driven mad by the loss of her own children, who were taken from her during her slavery days. Others believe she thought she was doing the right thing, sparing families from hardship. Regardless of her motive, the growing number of stillbirths under her care didn't go unnoticed. Suspicion turned to fear, and families stopped calling on her for services. Left alone and shunned by the community, the midwife succumbed to madness. She claimed the ghosts of the infants haunted her day and night. She would sit in her home, clutching a bucket that she swore would fill with blood on its own, a grim reminder of the lives that she had taken. She spent her final days wandering the swamps, endlessly dumping her blood-filled bucket into the river. Yet no matter how often that she emptied it, the bucket always seemed to refill. One fateful night, the midwife made her final trip to the bridge. As she poured the contents of her bucket into the river, she lost her footing and fell into the water. She drowned, and the river, as the story goes, ran red with blood for days afterwards. This macabre tale explains how the bridge earned its nickname, Bloody Bucket Bridge, and why the road that leads to it shares the same haunting name. But the legend doesn't end with her death. Locals claim that on nights of a full moon, the river beneath the bridge runs red once more. Some say that you can still hear the cries of the children from the woods carried in the wind, and others report seeing a shadowy figure near the bridge, clutching a bucket and staring into the water. Fact or fiction, Bloody Bucket Road and Bridge remain a chilling part of Florida folklore. Perhaps it's nothing more than just an eerie story told to keep people away from the swamp at night. Or maybe the midwife's guilt and sorrow truly do linger, staining the water and echoing in the cries of the innocent.